Morthal is a small city in northern Skyrim tucked away in the dense marshes of Halmark. There is really nothing of interest in this town, but as we travel through on a particularly gray and snowy afternoon, something catches our attention. A house that had been completely destroyed. A closer look reveals the extent of the damage. The wooden walls are splintered and torn apart, the floor is broken, the roof is gone, and a crumbling fireplace sits towards the back of what was likely a quaint and cozy living room. If I didn't know any better, I'd say this place went up in flames. But how? With our curiosity piqued, we can head into High Moon Hall and speak to Morthal's ruling Jarl, Idgrod Ravencrone.
I speak and others hear. It is my hope that instead they listen.
Give it to me straight, Jarl Ravencrone. Is Morthal in trouble?
That which is unknown can create unease, even fear. It is to be expected. Some fear our new resident wizard. As they grow to know him, they will accept him. Time will prove me right.
I saw a burned-down house not far from here. What can you tell me about that?
Hroggar's house? He lost his wife and daughter in the blaze. My people believe it to be cursed now. Who am I to gainsay them?
What does Hroggar say happened?
Hroggar blames his wife for spilling bear fat in the fire. Many folk think he set the fire himself.
My God! With his own wife and child inside?
Lust can make a man do the unthinkable. The ashes were still warm when he pledged himself to Alva.
So Hroggar's wife and child die in a mysterious fire, and soon after he commits himself to another woman named Alva. Seems pretty suspicious. Why haven't you arrested him?
On rumor and gossip? No, but you, a stranger, might find the truth for us. Sift through the ashes that others are too fearful to touch. See what they tell you. Should you prove him guilty or innocent, I will reward you.
This starts the quest, Laid to Rest. To begin the investigation, we can return to the burned house and have another look around. Maybe there's a clue that we missed, or a piece of evidence that we somehow overlooked. However, stepping inside, we find something entirely unexpected. A young ghost named Helgi.
Who's there? Is that you, Father?
Who are you?
Helgi. But Father says I'm not supposed to talk to strangers. Are you a stranger?
No, I'm not a stranger, I'm a friend. Do you know what happened to your house?
The smoke woke me up. I was hot and I was scared, so I hid. Then it got cold and dark. I'm not scared anymore, but I'm lonely. Will you play with me?
If I play with you, will you tell me who started the fire?
Okay, let's play hide and seek. You find me and I'll tell you. We have to wait for nighttime, though. The other one is playing too, and she can't come out until then.
The other one? What do you mean by that?
I can't tell you. She might hear me. She's so close. If you can find me first, I can tell you.
With that, Helgi's ghost disappears into thin air, leaving us with two unanswered questions. Who started the fire, and who is the other one that will be playing hide and seek with us? We have to wait until dark before we can search for Helgi, so in the meantime, let's walk around Morthal and see if we can gather any more information from the residents. As we walk across the docks on the outskirts of town, we come across Alva, who Jarl Ravencrone told us has taken Hroggar as a lover. But her first words to us aren't exactly indicative of someone who's in a committed relationship.
Well, aren't you the handsome one? The people here work so hard, and they never allow themselves a moment of fun. It's such a pity. It won't last forever, though.
They say that Hroggar burned down his house for you, killing his wife and child.
Do they? How delightful. I'm lucky to have a man that is so devoted to me. Until next time.
What? What kind of a sick person would find honor in a man killing his own family just to be with somebody else? There is definitely something strange going on here. On the other side of town, we find Hroggar collecting wood by the mill.
Here for work. Get an axe and bring me all the wood you can chop.
I'm not interested in that right now, Hroggar. I don't know how to say this, but I saw Helgi's ghost in the ruins of your home.
Really? How nice.
That's all you have to say? I mean, she's your daughter. Don't you care?
I have Alva to take care of now. I don't need Helgi anymore.
Folks, I've been playing Skyrim for a long time, and this is one of the saddest remarks I've ever heard in the game. What kind of a father forgets about his own daughter? What kind of a man loves a woman he just met more than his child? Could Hroggar really be this brainwashed? Having talked to both Alva and Hroggar, it certainly seems like Hroggar killed his family to be with Alva. But our work isn't done just yet. We still have to wait until nightfall and find Helgi's ghost, so that she'll give us more information about who set the fire. But where to look? Maybe Jarl Ravencrone will have some answers.
Is Hroggar innocent or not?
Listen, I'm not a betting man, but at this point I'd say he's far from innocent. I still need more information, though. I found Helgi's ghost in the ruins of the house. She asked me to try to find her later tonight. Any idea where she might be hiding?
The spirit world is strong in this place. Look to the graveyard. That is where you'll find her.
The graveyard. Alright, got it.
Hroggar's fate is in your hands.
With that, we can head outside and wait until midnight. The graveyard is located to the west of the lumber mill, just across an icy river. After making short work of a mud crab, we can follow a trail up to the graveyard. Here we find a woman standing next to an unearthed coffin. As soon as we approach her, she attacks.
She's mine. She's my reward. You can't have her.
Leolette's head rolls down the hill in a rather gruesome scene, but she left us no choice. We were forced to defend ourselves. Just moments later, a man named Thonir rushes up to the graveyard.
Leolette, she's dead. Ysmir's beard. She's a vampire. She's dead. Leolette is dead.
I'm sorry that it came to this, Thonir. I really am. What can you tell me about your wife?
Leolette. I thought she left to join the Stormcloaks. Oh, my poor Leolette.
Did you notice anything strange before you left?
She began to spend a lot of time with Alva. Yet just a week before, she despised her. In fact, the night she disappeared, she was supposed to meet Alva. Alva told me later that she never showed up. I never got to tell her goodbye.
So Leolette was spending a lot of time with Alva, just like Hroggar was. Interesting. Thonir, I think that your wife and Alva did meet that night after all. And Leolette, well, she didn't contract vampirism out of nowhere.
You think Alva? But that means... Ye gods! You think Alva is a vampire?
I'm just saying that it's a possibility we can't ignore.
No, you're wrong. You must be wrong. Leolette may have met her fate out in the marsh. I refuse to believe Alva had anything to do with this. There is no way you can prove it to the Jarl. I hope Alva is not what you think.
With that, Thonir returns to town. Now, I actually ran into a glitch here where I wasn't able to interact with the coffin, even though my objective marker was pointing at it. I read online that this glitch often occurs if you speak to Thonir before interacting with the coffin, so loading a previous save, we can interact with the coffin and discover that this is the hiding spot of Helgi's ghost.
You found me! Leolette was trying to find me too, but I'm glad you found me first. Leolette was told to burn Mommy and me, but she didn't want to. She wanted to play with me forever and ever. She kissed me on the neck, and I got so cold that the fire didn't even hurt. Leolette thought she could take me and keep me, but she can't. I'm all burned up. I'm tired. I'm gonna sleep for a while now.
So Leolette was the one who started the fire, but it sounds like she had a change of heart and wanted little Helgi to live on with her forever. Leolette bit Helgi in an attempt to turn her into a vampire, but it was too late. The flames had taken their toll, and Helgi passed away. But why would Laelette start the fire in the first place? And furthermore, why was Thonir so quick to defend Alva when we mentioned that she too could be a vampire? Has Alva somehow brainwashed Thonir in the same way it appears she did to Hroggar? We still need answers, and to get those answers, we need to go straight to the source. Creeping through the night, we eventually arrive at Alva's house. It's locked with an adept level lock, but after picking it and being careful not to draw the attention of the guards, we can head inside. Here we find Hroggar, who immediately grabs his weapon and attacks.
Never should have come here.
On Hroggar's body, we can loot some gold and the key to Alva's house, which is useless now, considering that we're already inside. I suppose another way to gain access to the house would have been to pickpocket Hroggar during the day and use the key to open the door. Across the main entrance of the house is a set of stairs leading down into Alva's cellar. Alva wasn't here at the time in my playthrough, but we do find her journal resting inside a coffin. My life is dreary. Where is my prince come to rescue me? Where is my bold Nord warrior to sweep me off my feet? I met a man today when picking night flowers. He is exciting and exotic. We kissed in the moonlight. It was so romantic. I'm going to see him again tonight. Well, that doesn't sound like the cold, heartless woman that we met before. I wonder what changed. Let's keep reading to find out. In her next passage, Alva writes, "Now I understand the true colors of the night. Movarth has shown me the true black of night and the true red of blood. He has promised me a feast of blood if I do his bidding in Morthal." So the man that Alva met while picking night flowers was Movarth, a former vampire hunter turned master vampire who corrupted Alva and seeks to use her to wreak havoc on Morthal. Alva continues, "Hroggar was easy to seduce. Movarth said I should find a protector first, someone to watch over my coffin during the day. Hroggar is perfect. Laelette came to visit me tonight. She slaked my thirst. I've hidden her away to rise as my handmaiden. I've spread the rumor in town that she left to join the war. Fools! Movarth has confided his grand plan to me. I am to seduce the guardsmen one at a time and make them my slaves. Then he and the others from the coven can descend upon Morthal and take the entire town. We won't kill them. They will become cattle for our thirst, an endless supply of blood, and an entire town to protect us from the cursed sun." Alva then goes on to write about Hroggar and his family. Hroggar's family is becoming inconvenient. I have told Laelette to kill them all, but make it look like an accident. Hroggar must be seen as innocent if he is going to be my protector. That little fool! Laelette burned Hroggar's family alive. I asked for an accident and she gave me a scandal. To make matters worse, she tried to turn his little girl, Helgi. Except Laelette couldn't even get that right. She killed the child and left the body to burn. Something is wrong with Laelette. She keeps talking about Helgi. I think her mind has snapped. She seems to think that the child can still be brought back to be her companion. Finally, Alva's last entry reads, "There is a stranger in town looking into the fire. I'll have to be careful." It seems now that we have all the pieces to the puzzle. This is a game of manipulation. Movarth has essentially made Alva his slave, and in turn, Alva plans on enslaving the guardsmen of Morthal by way of seduction. With the guards disarmed and brainwashed, Movarth would be able to send in his army of vampires from the Coven to take over Morthal, thus providing them with an endless supply of blood. It's a diabolical plan that we have to put an end to at once. Heading back to High Moon Hall, we can speak to Jarl Ravencrone to tell her everything we know. Now, I found this dialogue option to be a bit strange considering that Laelette was really the one who started the fire, not Alva. Though Alva did instruct her to do it, so I suppose she could be seen as the true murderer. Anyway, Hroggar is innocent, Jarl Ravencrone. Alva is the one that set the fire.
Alva? Didn't think she had it in her.
Actually, she's a vampire.
I assume you have proof? Can't go making accusations like that without proof.
I do have proof. Here, take a look at her journal.
So it's true. The traitorous bitch. Morthal owes you a debt. Here, you were promised a reward for solving the crime, but I need one more favor from you. Morthal is still in danger. The journal mentions Movarth, a master vampire I thought was destroyed a century ago. I'll gather together some able-bodied warriors to clean out Movarth's lair. They'll be waiting outside for you to lead them.
Thank you. Wish me luck. Stepping outside, we spot a group of men rushing through town, armed and ready to take down Movarth once and for all. They lead us through the fog, their flickering torches lighting the way, refusing to stop until we arrive at the entrance to Movarth's lair. It's then that we notice that the leader of these men is none other than Thonir. Hey, you're not gonna make me go in alone, are you?
They may be cowards, but I'm not. I'll go with you.
You're a brave man, Thonir. Let's go.
Lead on.
With that, we can enter Movarth's lair. Heading down a short tunnel to the east, we find ourselves on the upper platform of a large chamber. Frostbite spiders scurry across the ground below, and then suddenly, one spots us. Rushing down a set of stairs, we draw our sword and attack.
Time to end this little game. Sign him.
I'm not quite sure why Thonir didn't come down to help me fight the spiders. Maybe he just needed a minute, or perhaps he's deathly afraid of anything with 8 legs. In any event, I decided to continue onward, hoping that he would join me up ahead. There's a narrow tunnel to the south that we can follow into another clearing. Here we find a vampire's thrall sitting alone at a table. I was able to sneak up on him and get in one good swing before he attacked.
Should have come here. I cannot bet.
After looting his body and noticing a bloodied skull on the same table he was eating at, ew, we notice that Thonir finally decided to catch up to us. Better late than never, right? The path continues to the east and to the north. I decided to take the northern path in my playthrough, which leads to another spacious room. Here, we get attacked by a second vampire's thrall.
End this little game.
Having a look around, we notice that this room is filled with several tables, all of which contain boots, robes, and other articles of clothing. In the center of the room is a pit with a pile of bodies and skeletons, most likely the remains of the vampire's last feast. Next to the pit is another disturbing sight, a wagon full of skeletons, soaked in blood. How wonderful. I found nothing significant in terms of loot in this room, so continuing onward to the north, we can follow a ramp up to an elevated platform that leads into what appears to be the grand dining room. There's a large table in the center of the room, and at the head of the table sits Movarth, the master vampire himself. They easily spot us from our elevated position and begin to attack.
Smear, you won't leave him alive.
No more! I yield! I yield! Ah! Ah!
With Movarth dead, we can loot his body for, well, not much, honestly. He has a gold sapphire ring worth 500 gold, a filter of lockpicking, and some other loot that, frankly, I wasn't interested in taking. However, on top of the dining table, we find several gold coins and coin purses, which I promptly collected. From here, we have a few different paths that we can take. We can either go up some stairs and into a tunnel to the east, down another tunnel to the north, or down a third path to the south. Or we can climb back up to the ledge we were just on and follow a path that we didn't quite reach before Movarth attacked. Out of sheer curiosity, I decided to backtrack and explore the trail on the upper level. This tunnel led me into a dark room with a Night Lord vampire, which admittedly put up quite a fight. In the middle of the battle, Thonir rushed in to help. Sadly, he didn't make it. By the end of the fight, all that remained of him was a pile of blue ash, glowing softly in the darkness. Rest in peace, Thonir. Just up ahead, we find a small living area with a bed, a nightstand, and a shelf with more boots in one place than I've ever seen in this game before. I guess the Night Lord vampire was really into footwear. Continuing east, we pass by a few sleeping bags and then follow the tunnel as it twists and turns all the way back into the grand dining room. We now have 2 more paths to explore, the first to the south and the second up a ramp into the east. Heading up the ramp first, we find ourselves in another tiny room with another vampire thrall.
Time to end this little game. Victory! Go!
After looting the vampire's body, we can open a chest for some gold and other miscellaneous items. There's an alchemy lab next to a bookshelf, upon which we find a potion of ultimate magicka, and below it, a copy of the book Immortal Blood. Heading back down the ramp into the grand dining room, we can head down the last path left unexplored to the south. It looks like there's a chest to our right, but first we have to deal with a couple more vampires, including another Night Lord. The thrall runs off, leaving us alone with the vampire Night Lord. Suddenly, just before we deliver the final blow, the Night Lord disappears. Where did he go? Ah, behind us! The thrall ran off down a tunnel to the south. We'll catch up in a moment, but first we can take a potent stamina poison off the top of a dresser, and then loot a chest for some gold, a potion of minor magicka, and a glass war axe of enervating. On the upper level, we find an elven bow resting on a table that really looks like it needs to be dusted, and a bundle of orcish arrows next to it. There is also a coin purse at the back right corner of the table. Heading south now, down the tunnel that the thrall escaped through, we eventually come to a ledge. Seeing that our only option forward is to drop down, we can make the jump and then continue to the west. Here we find the cowardice thrall.
Death is highly overrated.
If we head all the way west and then follow a tunnel to the north, we find ourselves back in that first chamber where we killed the frostbite spiders. From here, we can climb back up the ramp towards the exit. But before we leave, we're visited one last time by Helgi's ghost.
Mother's calling me. It's time for me to sleep now. I'm so tired. Thank you for making her feel better.
With that, we can head west back out to Skyrim, and then fast travel back to Jarl Ravencrone in Morthal to tell her the good news.
Well, look at you. If only everyone acted like you did.
Movarth is dead, Jarl Ravencrone.
By the 8, I didn't think he could do it. Now maybe we can put all this behind us. Take this as a token of our gratitude.
And that ends the quest, Laid to Rest. For completing this quest, we are rewarded with Jarl Ravencrone's utmost respect and 1,200 gold. At its core, I think this quest took a philosophical look at the concept of enslavement, what it means and how it affects different people. Alva was clearly enslaved by Movarth, who turned her into a vampire and had her do his bidding. After becoming a vampire, Alva was also enslaved by her unyielding thirst for blood, which eventually led to Leolette's demise. Hroggar was enslaved too, not by the effects of vampirism, but by love and by lust. He practically worshipped Alva, to the point where he no longer cared about his own wife and daughter. Thonir seemed to be at the early stages of enslavement to Alva as well, based on how he defended her when we raised the possibility that she could be a vampire. Though not to the same extent, both of these men were prisoners of their own desires. Had Alva gone through with her plan, there's no telling how many more men would have fallen under her spell. But I'd love to know what you think, folks. Do you think that Leolette was to blame for setting the house on fire? Or do you think Alva should take the blame for manipulating her into doing so? What happened to Thonir in your playthrough? Did he make it out of Movarth's lair alive? Or did he meet his end? Let me know in the comments below. I post new videos on Skyrim every Wednesday and Sunday, ladies and gentlemen. If you like what I do, I'd appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button and clicked on the bell icon so that you can stay up to date on all of my latest content. That's all for now, though. Thank you so much for your continued support, and I'll see you next time.